disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want. I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish it.
You are intending that
your disrespect of Kamala Harris is part and parcel.
Wow. A lot of people perpetuating white supremacy in America, including black people. Now, that was Michael Eric Dyson, who's reeling over Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace, calling him out for sending her creepy texts immediately after he implied that she's racist on live national television. And he did imply that. Don't insult our intelligence.
Ana Kasparian is definitely leaving the left very, very soon as she goes on this absolutely nuclear rant when it comes to the CNN panelist. I always forget this guy's name, Michael Eric Dyson, who went on this unhinged racist rant towards Nancy Mace. And then Nancy Mace actually responded to the whole thing and exposed him for sending pretty creepy text to Nancy Mace. And Ana Kasparian's just fed up with the whole thing because now the guy is going on The View and crying cancel culture. And it's wild what happens over on the woke left, man. Let's get into this clip here with Ana Kasparian on the Young Turks just destroying this CNN panelist, Michael Eric Dyson, for his racist rant towards Nancy Mace. And then after, when he got exposed for sending these creepy texts to Nancy Mace, he's now crying cancel culture to Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and The View. Let's get into this clip here from the Young Turks.
Living in a toxic culture where there's a cancel culture gotcha. We're not trying to elevate, we're trying to eviscerate. This woman has now depended upon, like her inspiration, Donald Trump, a racist trope. The black brute seeks the innocent white woman, and now I'm seeking lasciviously to approach her.
I mean, but did you try to hit on the white woman? Now, that was Michael Eric Dyson, who's reeling over Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace, calling him out for sending her creepy texts immediately after he implied that she's racist on live national television. And he did imply that. Don't insult our intelligence. Now, it's incredible how he can decry cancel culture on one hand and then try to get her canceled for allegedly using racist tropes on another. So let's break this down, because in case you missed the story, it all started when Dyson and Congresswoman Mace appeared on the same CNN panel to discuss the presidential race. Mace, like many Americans, struggled a bit with Kamala Harris's name.
Talk about rerun Kamala's.
You had it right. You almost got it.
I will say Kamala's name any way that I want to.
No, but you mispronounced her and you also misjudged her.
I just did, and I'll do it again.
Mispronouncing her name.
That's a refusal to acknowledge her humanity.
If I purposely mispronounced your name, that would not be appropriate.
Policies.
Okay, so she probably shouldn't have said, I will say her name how I want. But like clearly she wasn't intentionally trying to mispronounce her name. She started with Kamala and then she's like, wait, Kamala. She's probably confused because guess what? We have heard both pronunciations for many years now. And it's kind of frustrating when you're trying to make a point, a substantive point, right? I'm sure I probably disagree with whatever Mace was supposed to say or was trying to say, but it doesn't matter. She's trying to get her point out and she gets interrupted immediately over a small error. Now, that is when Dyson stepped in to make the obligatory point that, you know, we've heard it before, white woman bad, very naughty. Let's watch.
This Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you...
Also, I like to make the point that, reiterate the point that Ana Kasparian just made about this idiot, Michael Eric Dyson. And also, all these race baiters are the same way. This guy goes on CNN and tries to, destroy Nancy Mace for being racist because she mispronounced Kamala Harris's name, which, like Ana Kasparian said, has been pronounced a bunch of different ways over the last few years, so it's understandable. And then Nancy Mace exposes this guy for having creepy texts between the two, which Ana Kasparian will go into here in 1 second. And it's the same thing with all these race baiters that are just so obsessed with race and white people bad. Then Dr. Umar is another guy who is always just like, he makes all his money off of complaining about how much of a victim he is and how black people can't really accomplish anything because they're black. And then he gets caught with white women. Like, this happens all the time. All these race baiters are the same thing. It's just a grift. That's all it is.
You disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want. I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish it.
You are intending that I am
Your disrespect of Kamala Harris is part and parcel.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT.
I'm so sorry, Jank, but I'm not.
Now, Kamala Harris has a relatively unique name. We all know this. And people are going to accidentally mispronounce it. It's called life, and these little squabbles over this issue are insane. Especially when commentators like Dyson blow it out of proportion to make it seem like it's the perpetuation of white supremacy in America. Give me a break. In fact, maybe give all the Kamala Harris supporters you're about to hear from a break as well.
The hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. You'll notice they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
People like Kamala Harris.
But as Kamala said,
Kamala Harris.
Kamala and I. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris was a very good prosecutor.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. And I know her. Kamala was first Biden and Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
And to the Kamala point, they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. They say Kamala. They do it all the time. It is on purpose. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris was talking about this.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
That's how I always thought you said it, because they said it so much like Kamala. They always said it like that, so I had to unlearn that and start saying Kamala. You know, now I'm confused. I don't even. It's Kamala, right? That's what it is. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. A lot of people perpetuating white supremacy in America, including black people.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Now, getting back to Dyson's tiff with Mace, after he implied that she's mispronouncing Kamala's name because she's racist, Mace did this on the House floor.
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
Then the guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
Damn. Now, as you can imagine, Dyson didn't like that. But before we get to Dyson's response to all of this, look, Nancy Mace, to be fair, is not innocent in all of this, okay? And honestly, in this saga, her biggest crime, those massive tacky earrings. Like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing, girl? Like, I respect your religion, okay? But like, maybe smaller cross earrings? Why do they have to be so big? Okay, anyway, let's get back to Dyson. He didn't like it, so he wrote on X, quote, her white women's tears and mendacity are all in the service of lies and distortions. I was wrong about one thing. She is a bigot and racist.
That's all these people have, man. It's all you can tell when somebody on the left has lost an argument when they start saying stuff like Ana Kasparian is bringing up on the screen there. Whenever they just, they go to the istophobe stuff. That's it. Every single time. Whenever, like, this guy is completely backed into a corner and he does what he knows best, right? Whenever you're backed into a corner, whenever, I don't know, when my dog chases lizards around and she traps a lizard in a corner, you go to your survival instinct, right? Like, the lizard goes to It's instinctual, the genetics that he has within his body. What is it telling him to do to survive this situation? That's what's happening in this situation with this Michael Eric Dyson guy. Nancy Mace exposes him, and he goes back to his instinctual way of surviving this by just saying everyone is racist who's coming after me. That's it. And guess what? It works. I bet he's going to continue to have a career, because if they fire him, or if he loses his job, if he loses his platform, whatever, I don't even know what the hell this guy does, honestly. But if he loses his job or platform or whatever, he's just going to sue them for being racist or something. Like, it's just a get out of jail free card every time.
No, you thought that to begin with. Let's keep it real. Now, in an effort to defend himself, he also took to social media to say that he's not doing anything weird. I mean, he writes creepy messages to lots of women. Watch.
These are other people that I interacted with recently, my friends, some of them. My friend Allison, I said, nice, you look gorgeous. Look out, Texas, here she comes, talking about that. Nell Painter, a world-renowned historian, on her Instagram, I posted after she posted about she's a Mary Ellen von der Heyden Fellow in Letters of the American Academy in Berlin. In public, I said, gorgeous and brilliant all at once. A heart with a face that's smiling with hearts, and a kissy face, right? I said, keep up the great work. Then there is my friend Terry, who I was giving tickets to for the Democratic National Convention. I said, you know I can if I will. Everybody and their mama want these tickets for today. You look gorgeous as always. Then my colleague Lisa at Vanderbilt, when we took pictures, I sent them to her and I said, me and Miss Gorgeous. And then Councilwoman Mary Sheffield, who is a councilwoman in Detroit, and I said, gorgeous and brilliant leader. Bless you and thank God for your courage, strength, and leadership. And then my dear friend Susan Taylor, a renowned editor, Queen, that's what I call her. So good to see you today. You look gorgeous as always, and your soul-inspiring conversation was uplifting as always. Feel better, love y'all. And then finally, to Dana Bash. Well, I congratulated her on the interview she did with Kamala Harris. And then on another interview, saying people of color are eating cats, that's racism. I was quoting her. I said, thank you, Dana Bash. Besides being brilliant and courageous, you also look gorgeous.
Wait, no kissy emoji for Dana Bash? What's going on here? Look, obviously that's not the defense he thinks it is. Maybe don't send unsolicited evaluations of women's appearance in a professional setting. Especially as a married man, I would not be happy with my husband if he's sending kissy emojis to other women, especially at work. And have a little grace for people instead of immediately assuming they're driven by hatred and racism. But no, he just can't get himself to do that. So he doubled down on The View.
We're living in a toxic culture where there's a cancel culture gotcha. We're not trying to elevate, we're trying to eviscerate. So when it comes to Nancy Mace, you see I tried to be nice to the woman. I said, you're a wonderful woman. I lied. I then said, but I tried to be nice to her. And then even when I pointed out to her what the repetition of the misnaming of Kamala Harris would do, she got defensive. Oh, you're calling me a racist? No. To all of these white Christians, and she's one of them, the Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn their face to God and turn away from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and then I will forgive their sins and I will heal the land. They have not forgiven themselves. White Christians hate themselves for the past wrongs that have been done, and I'm here as a loving Christian to say, let's grapple with that past, acknowledge the historic legacy of supremacy, don't deny it, don't erase it, don't eviscerate it, don't remove it from the history books, confront it, and then when you forgive yourselves, we can go forward.
What the hell are you talking about, man? I don't hate myself, or I didn't do anything. I'm a white Christian. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I was born 25 years ago. Why would I hate myself for something that I didn't do? Like he had as much to do with that slavery stuff as I did. We both had zero to do with it. He wasn't a slave. I wasn't a slave owner. He wasn't a slave owner. I wasn't a slave. I don't have anything to do with that stuff. So I don't hate myself because of that. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about Ana Kasparian absolutely destroying this woke idiot for what he said on The View, what he said to Nancy Mace, the text message that he sent to Nancy Mace. It's a super messy situation, and it kind of epitomizes the left pretty perfectly. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Ana Kasparian versus Michael Eric Dyson and the Nancy Mace situation.